Hey, this is just so weird. It's so weird. I have wanted to do this for so long. Um, this is the channel Money Mindset Coach. My name is Valerie, and I have been wanting to have a video, I have a YouTube channel for the longest time, and now it's actually a reality. Last year, I got rid of Dish Network. Um, and after I did that, I'd get up in the morning and instead of going and watching CBS This Morning or whatever, I started going to YouTube and I started finding all these wonderful, frugal people, minimalists. I'd already started listening to podcasts and stuff, and I was listening to all that, and I just thought, God, maybe I could do that. So then I found some people on YouTube, and I'm thinking, well, gosh, if they can do it, I can do it. And so basically, just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have three boys. I'm a mom. I'm a grandmother. I have three grandchildren. My oldest is 16, girl, and I have a 13-year-old granddaughter. And I have a little grandson who will be 2 years old this year. So quite a gap. But anyway, I just have always wanted to do this. I have been a hairdresser. I've been a real estate agent. I'm not a financial coach professionally, but over the last 20, 30 years, I have read every financial book that's come out. I'm a big believer in Dave Ramsey. His system was what got me completely out of debt. The only thing that I owe for right now is my house. And, I don't even know that much on that. So I've just lived a little bit. I'm launching this video, this channel on my birthday. I am 66 years old. And so I think I've lived a lot of life and I've had a lot of experiences. I've had good experiences. I've had not good experiences. And I just want to share some of the things that I have learned over my lifetime. So basically, I was born in Chicago and I lived there until I was 7. 4.5 years of that time, we were living with my grandparents in a great big Victorian two-story house that was 4.5 years, best years of me and my brother's lives. We loved living there. We loved living there with our grandparents. My dad was a salesman. He was supposed to get a transfer, and basically that was supposed to happen in 6 months, and it took 4.5 years. So we had this wonderful, wonderful time of living with our grandparents. During that time, well, before that, my mom and dad had built a house. I don't remember that house because I was born there and then we moved when I was 3 years old. So I don't really remember that house. But it was 1957. They had that house built. It cost $13,000. Now, the very same year that they had a brand new house for $13,000, my aunt and uncle, my mom's sister and her husband, basically bought a house that was $52,000. So my mom and dad's house was a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, no garage, no basement house. Probably under 1,000 square foot, if it was that. My aunt and uncle, their house was probably almost 3,000 square feet. It had the side entry garage. It was set far back from the road. My cousins even had their own bathroom connected to their bedroom. I mean, that was the difference. And so when we would go to my aunt and uncle's house, I would look at that and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is how the other half lives. This is what I want. This is cool. And so anyway, he was like my rich uncle. They were my rich aunt and uncle, and they had a Cadillac, and I'd ride in the front seat between my uncle and my dad, and back then, I mean, limousines, They were Cadillacs. So I kind of pretended that I was riding around in a limousine, so I thought it was pretty cool. But then when I was 7, we moved from Chicago down to a farm community in central Illinois, and that was huge because it was a culture shock. We were used to Chicago and the city and everything, and then all of a sudden, here we are in this small town that was 2,000 people, and it was quite different. And, it took a while before we were even accepted. I think people looked at us like we were some kind of city slickers or something. Now, I was in second grade. So, in second grade, it's like kids just, that I went to school with, maybe they'd been to Chicago, maybe they hadn't, but they'd heard of it. And they thought, wow, that's a big town. That's a big city. They thought it was pretty cool. My brothers were teenagers and they weren't treated quite so well. So, anyway, lived there. Then I moved to Dayton, Ohio when I was 16. And that was huge because it was a total different part of the country. I graduated, I became a hairdresser. That's when I got my own apartment and I was living on my own. And it was such a wonderful time of life. Having my own apartment was the most wonderful thing. I totally loved it. I loved it. I loved living on my own. I loved paying all my own bills, having my own car, being able to do whatever I wanted to do. It was wonderful. And then late 20s, I met my husband, ex-husband now, but we met, got married relatively quickly, had 3 boys, and then eventually moved to the St. Louis area. And now I live in central Missouri, and I live in wine country. I live in a small town again. After all these years, I'm living in a town that's about the same size as that small farm community. But basically, what I want to do on this channel is convey tips, tricks, things that I've done getting out of debt. That was hard. That was hard. I was married for 30 years and I was the saver. He was the spender. And basically, you have to have a budget. You have to have an emergency fund. You have to save for retirement. There's things you have to do. And I tell you, it didn't really hit me until I was probably, once we got into our 40s, I started to get a little worried. I was like, okay, what are we going to do here? Are we going to are we going to save? What are we going to live on when we're old? Like now, it's like, what are you going to live on? You got to have something. And if you spend everything that you make and you don't ever save anything, you don't really have anything. You have a lot of stuff, but you don't have a lot of money. My dad always said to me, because I would go to the store and I would buy something, and maybe it was on clearance or something like that. And I said, oh, Dad, I saved $30 or whatever by buying this. And he would say to me, he said, you didn't save it. He says, you just didn't spend it. And I kind of looked at him and I thought, you're right. I don't have that money in the bank. I just didn't spend it. And so, there's things like that. I'm a big believer in having an emergency fund, having a budget, but it was hard. I mean, I bought every financial book there was, and I read every one of them. My husband didn't read any of them, and that was part of the problem. We just weren't on the same page when it came to money. So we weren't really getting anywhere. And I thought, what are we going to do? So, and then when you have 3 boys, all of our 3 boys were all born 2 years apart. And in the first 6 years, we had 3 kids. And we had 3 kids before we even knew what the heck we were doing. And it's easy when they're babies. It's easy. I look at my grandson and it's like, he's so cute. He's just adorable, but kids grow into teenagers. They get bigger. They're growing out of everything before you can even, and then once they're teenagers, we had three teenage boys at the same time, and trying to keep food on the table was, oh my gosh, our food budget was out of sight, you know? So it's like you get into this and you're like, where are we going to find the money? You have to be intentional with the money you have and where you spend it. If you're not intentional, it's gonna, might as well fly out the window. So basically, this year, 2024, I in January, I did a no spend January. I didn't quite do as well as I wanted to. I think I spent a little here and a little there, but it was I would say it was low spend. February was low spend. My biggest problem is I work in a kitchen boutique store. So, oh, there's so many cool things that are in this store. And I've bought a lot of them. But I also feel that if somebody comes in to buy something, if I've bought it and I've used it and I really like it, I can tell them. I can say, hey, this is cool. I really like this. So, that's a weakness for me. But basically, I am doing this year, and I've been good. I am doing a no spend on clothes for the whole year. And believe me, I have never done that. I love clothes, and I have a lot of them. And I, what I'm going to do with every video that I'm doing here, and I really don't know how often that's going to be, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be wearing something, obviously, and I'm going to tell you where I got it and what the brand name is. And you're going to see most of what I have is from thrift stores. Thrift stores are wonderful. You can go in there and everything has had the test of time. It's like a sweater, if it's going to pill, you're going to know it. Everything is quality. You can get amazing, amazing things and not spend a boatload of money on them. Plus, the one I go to, if you're 55 and over, on Tuesdays, you get 30% off of everything. So I already have lower prices, and then I get 30% off. That's pretty good. So anyway, it's my weakness too. And I just went in there the other day and I did buy some clothes for my grandson, but I haven't bought any for me. So anyway, what I'm wearing today, I might even stand up. Yeah. It's one of these that it looks like it's connected. Well, it is connected, but it looks like it's not. And I like those. It's also got some gathers here on the sleeve. I like anything that has some interest to it. And so basically, this is AB Studio. And I Googled that before I came on. And basically, they have it at Kohl's. Some of you watching, you're going to be familiar because you know AB Studio. But basically, their prices are like, you can buy something like this and it could be $60. I didn't spend that. I spent maybe maybe $3, something like that. So anyway, this is just a little introductory video of me, and I'm hoping that I get views, but I'm doing this because I love it, and hopefully people will find some value from it. But I'm basically doing this because I love YouTube. I love the people that I watch. I get up in the morning and that's the first thing I do after I have my coffee. I'm sitting there and I'm looking for all the people that I've subscribed to and if they have a new video out. I just love it. And so I'm hoping that all of you out there will want to do the same for me. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. I would love it if you would. And basically, my motto, I have to sign off with something. Use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. Till next time, bye.